And I want to talk about why this bill is so important and just ask you to reconsider. When Bernie Madoff ran his Ponzi scheme, we didn't seek to ban email or ban phones because he used those to lure victims. And we didn't try to vilify the entire investment services industry because of one bad actor. What we did was we sought to strengthen safeguards on ensuring that bad governance and too good to be true schemes weren't taking place anymore. We sought to educate people so that they wouldn't be lured into schemes. And most importantly, we said we need to do these things so that this important sector to our economy can continue to grow. I am very concerned that Parliament, the words and the speeches towards this bill, which is fully amendable, this can go to committee and every single different party can edit the scope of the framework. I made it purposely nonpartisan. But the reason why growth is in the title, my colleagues, is because the toothpaste is out of the tube on Web3 technologies. And cryptocurrencies are but a small, infinitesimal drop in the bucket on how our economy and our society is changing by blockchain technology. It's called Web3 for a reason. If you think about Web 1 as being just being able to read a site on the internet, and then Web 2 being things like Facebook where you could read and write, Web 3 means that individuals can own data and digital assets. And for each of us in this place, and probably in the broader Canadian economy right now, the production value of our data might be greater than the value of the labor that we provide. So how can we sit here and say that we should not be putting together a growth framework that provides all of the safeguards that we've been talking about here for an area of the economy that we so desperately need? I represent a riding in Alberta, and I hear day after day colleagues of different political stripe talk about how the people who work in my community in natural resources-based jobs need to transition away from these jobs into digital economy-based jobs. Guess what, guys? Digital assets jobs, those are the very jobs you all are talking about. It's those jobs. And then we've had the Bloc Québécois who on behalf of their colleagues and their people in Quebec make this argument. We need less natural resource-based jobs, more digital economy jobs. And the speech that they said was, we need to not support this to grow more, but to restrict it. And similarly, the government said the same thing. I don't want to ascribe motive that that's what you meant to say, that my colleagues meant to say, Speaker. But I want you to understand what investors hear when they listen to this debate. And investors are listening to this. They say, don't invest in Canada because politicians in Parliament are willing to take cheap political points and debate. Like we are talking about making a decision on an industry over cheap political points instead of doing something that resembles work at committee. I could have picked any private member's bill. I could have picked the National Day for something and got a big win. But instead, I tried to pick something that was one of the hardest things for us to deal with as a parliament, and I tried to do it in a nonpartisan, non-prescriptive way. So if this bill got to committee, everybody in this place, Speaker, could amend it. Why would we leave this to happen behind closed doors in the government, if it happens at all, without the input of industry? If we allow this to happen, Speaker, things like Ethereum, Vitalik Buterin's organization, which now has a market cap of over $150 billion, all of those jobs, all of that capital, even though he's Canadian, guess where that is? Switzerland, because they have a legislative framework. The Americans are having a legislative framework. The Europeans are having a legislative framework, yet we're sitting here trading partisan barbs instead of talking about how we grow a sector that could be the solution to all of our job problems in this country. Yes, we need safeguards. Yes, we need better rules. But we're the ones that are supposed to do that. Why are we abdicating this responsibility? I don't want to look back in 10 years on this debate and say that we missed an opportunity because of partisanship. Go back to your colleagues on Wednesday, have a caucus meeting, and support this bill through to committee stage.